What is that one thing that angers the fuck out of you? As a former gas station clerk, we hate them more than you ever will. They make everyone in line upset, not to mention they will come in at random times when you might actually enjoy 5 meters of downtime and just meander around the store scratching their tickets and just repeat the process for 30 meters to 1 hour, basically making you their personal lotto machine while trying to hold the most awkward conversations. Sorry for the rant, but I guess I didn't realize how much I hated them, lol. Or stand still right as they step off the elevator to decide which way they want to go. Just as 300 people behind them are about to bulldoze them. Just the complete lack of self-awareness. Or people who pick the narrowest part of the street to stand at. You had about 150 of completely open street to stand, but you had to pick the one bottleneck spot where there's a tree, and a blocked-off crack being fixed. I used to work retail and got pretty badly hurt on multiple occasions by customers who would suddenly stop in front of me while I was trying to move a cart full of product. One time I had around 400 pounds on a cart that I had to jump in front of because a lady hard stopped in front of me. Bruises in my back and legs took weeks to heal. She didn't even notice I was there. Unsurprisingly, I'm very conscious of where people are around me in stores now. If I'm with my mom, she'll leave her cart in the middle of an aisle and go wandering off or stand in front of a display barely moving while other people are waiting for her to finish what she's doing, and will get mad at me for moving the cart to the side or letting her know that she's holding someone up. She says it's embarrassing. Ma'am, what's embarrassing is that you have no idea that another human being is right behind you because you're too busy dithering over cabbages. In some philosophy, people like this are sort of construed as a task for you to learn better temperance, rather than focus on the anger they incite. Think about why it makes you angry. What does it mean about you? Is anger a rational or constructive response? Think about why this person lacks awareness, either at all times or in this singular moment. Can you rightfully blame them or begrudge them a subjective mistake in this fleeting moment? Once you exhaust these mental exercises, you can go ahead and smash a box of cornflakes over their heads and piss all over a copy of Seneca's On Anger. Me too. Loves with my mom a couple of years ago and snapped at her one night, "How many damn cookies do you have left to eat?" We laughed about it thankfully, and we realized my grandmother had the same thing. My whole childhood my grandmother would be irrationally angry if we ate anything in her presence. Didn't understand it as a kid. Completely understand it now as an adult. The sound of somebody chewing, once I notice it, instantly angers me. If I don't hear it though, or I don't notice it because there's enough background noise in the room, then I'm completely fine. It takes a lot for me sometimes to unfocus on a chewer. My fiancé's family eat like psychopaths. They will take a chunk of bread and chew this dry fucking piece of bread and make this sound like they're licking cement. And his mom, the food goes in the mouth. And my dad, good God, I cannot with him. When I still lived there, I had to leave the room. My mother cannot drink anything without it sounding like the most exaggerated fucking gulp ever. And then there's my psychopath fiancé who somehow mashes his teeth together so loudly I want to stab him. He just has to look at food for me to get annoyed. And what's with people drinking tea and doing that slurp, gulp, and excuse me why the fuck would you phone someone while eating? Do you want to talk or do you want to make mushy disgusting noises? Pick one. You can't have both. I will put down. My sister does this all the damn time. /rant. Or worse, they start being incredibly belligerent and childish. Them. Here's a true fact. You. It isn't. Here's why. Give evidence. Them. Oh, here's why. Oh, look at Mr. Genius over here. You. No need for that. Them. No need for that. Then there's no need for anything. No need for freedoms, no need for money, huh, Mr. Smart Guy? You. Stop that. It's embarrassing. Them. Stop what? I meant doing anything. Am I doing something? What exactly am I doing? Maybe you're doing it. Repeat. People who talk on their cell phones loudly and with the other party on speaker while in public/crowded/inappropriate places to do so. Like, damn dude, no one that is actually in this space together can talk to each other without raised voices to talk over you, but they aren't all rude, so now everyone is just silently annoyed as fuck as you talk to Sam about wanting to rail Ben's mom. Women and men who think men shouldn't show emotions. The women who think men shouldn't show emotions were probably taught to feel that way by their father or, back in the day, their partner. I would say most women actively try to get men to express their emotions. Other men not so much. I had a friend that was so rude to servers and it was embarrassing to go out with them. Even if they deserved it, it's just not even worth it. Just don't tip them and shut the fuck up about it. Getting poor service at a restaurant is not a big deal and a regular part of life that everyone has to deal with. I get what you mean, but I myself believe urbanization is necessary for humanity to achieve progress without destroying nature. We will need to build more housing in the future, so why not do it in already developed areas instead of chopping down even more forests? Another thing I believe is necessary is to move away from cars as a primary source of transportation. They are huge polluters, and take up loads of space. I think we should develop around a network of trains, with bus or tram lines to get people to the nearest stations. This because trains are more space efficient, more energy efficient, and faster over long distances. Every single time I hear the term hustle, especially side hustle, I think of a former friend who was using it with that meaning a few years before it became mainstream. He called himself a hustler because he had at least 2 part-time minimum wage jobs at a time, in some cases, sub-minimum wage and under the table, while he considered me lazy because I had a single job that paid around $15/hour base pay, before aught, after hours premium, and bonuses, with full benefits. He considered anyone who sat down to work, or had the ability to, had a single job, and didn't have multiple sources of income lazy while being an extreme moocher. He kept falling for job scams. The only reason why he didn't get into MLMs was because he couldn't afford the starter kit fees, and while he was dumb, he still recognized that MLMs are nothing more than legalized pyramid schemes. Reddit being so twitchy. Down votes for fair and true comments if you don't join the circle jerk. 3 comments under post, saying basically the same. 2 downvoted and argued. 1 upvoted and responded reasonably. 2 mods that take action if you use a 4-letter word, but take no action for polite posts that clearly go against the intent of the sub. People who are genuinely stupid and then say idiotic shit, especially when it happens almost every single time and isn't a few times a week. I lived with these types of people. They're stupid as f, but they can't take jokes. They really thought COVID vaccines had microchips and they're always believing in conspiracy theories and shit like holy bro. Maybe not that one thing but one. Reckless driving, especially tailgaters. I always go 5 above the speed limit in the right lane, but that's never enough for people. I really hate when they're riding my ass as I'm coming up to a green light that turns yellow, so I'm forced to speed through it or they'll run into me. 2. Road rage, especially impatience on the road. My mom will curse up a storm if she has to wait more than 3 seconds for someone to back up out of their parking spot. What does it accomplish except you being pissed off for no reason and other people having to deal with it? 3. Religious people, particularly the ones who overdo it. It's just annoying. I don't care that you think Jesus loves me. He's not real. Leave me alone. 4. People habitually making me late. My brother used to take me to school and I was always ready a while before we had to go. He often wasn't ready until 5 to 10 minutes after we should have left, every single day. I don't mind a couple slip-ups, we're all human, but he made the same slip-up every day and I truly hate being late. At that point it was just inconsiderate and rude. Just because someone works a service job, it doesn't automatically make them a moron. Some of us are working towards bigger things, others are dealing with family, money or disability issues. We are thinking, rational adults, Do not treat us as stupid and lacking knowledge about our business. If you have a bad retail or food service experience, 85% of the time it's you. I won't say we don't have bad days, but we've all been conditioned to throttle down our emotions at work. The ones who don't or can't soon leave, so be polite and treat us like people, not things. Recently it has been being inconsiderate of the noise and trail you leave behind. Example, you're going to complain about the electric bill but then leave every light on around the house whenever you enter, leave a room, cooking late at night around 11 p.m. plus, not turning on the exhaust which then has the smell lingering. Not only that, people start smelling all that while trying to sleep, washing, drying clothes past midnight. This is mainly coming from someone who WFH all day at a pretty lax job and has all the time on their hands and just chooses to do all this past 9 p.m. When people take food off of my plate after I asked if anyone wanted anything before I made it, I like to be very precise with my foods. I'll slice up 2 pieces of cheese into 18 pieces. Cut 18 slices of cucumber and then have crackers with it. I hate that I'll ask if someone wants cucumber, everyone says no, then after to cut mine they start picking off my plate. My parents had locks on the cupboards and fridge when I was a kid, so I think it made me possessive of my food. On Tuesday 3 people tested positive for COVID where I work and they haven't shut the factory down even though we've had something like 20 people test positive since, and that number just keeps going up. 2 of them I know for a fact got vaccinated, so I'm a little bit freaked out. At least there's a mask mandate for the building now. When I overhear kids or young people saying something like, my parents says that when I get married I apostrophe LL/they'll. Friggin' hate that. People have said that when you get married think to me and I'd rather piss lava than be married. I'm perfectly happy not being married and I don't want to be married, and people act like I have a mushroom growing out of my eye when I tell them that. When you're on a narrow path/pavement/sidewalk and step to the side to let someone pass you easier and they don't thank you or even acknowledge your existence. I'm not looking for a big grand gesture. But you've seen me acknowledge you, move out of your way, and you're just going to continue walking and not even give me the cheers mate eyes? Go fuck yourself. Same for doors. I hold doors open for people if they've got bags, a pushchair, whatever, and when they just walk through it like it was my role anyway. To be a doorman? Nope. You can fuck yourself too. Used to just eat those encounters, but now I can't stop myself, and will always loudly exclaim, you are welcome, because damn. Just impoliteness with some stuff. Like for example, I work at a pizza delivery service and every night one person from delivery and one from the kitchen may eat because they have to stay until closing time. Most of the time they just eat pizza and sometimes they don't finish the pizza and the rest of the crew may have a slice. Well, I had this one colleague who was always first to get the slice, and way too often had more than one slice while others had no chance to even get their first slice. Like it is no problem to have 2 slices of pizza, but just wait until everyone has had the chance to get 1 slice. And if there are still slices when everyone has had their chance, you can pick your second. Well, this kind of little impolite stuff angers the fuck out of me. My biggest pet peeve that sends me into a blind rage is people who don't accelerate to highway speed on the on-ramp when getting on the highway. That is what the ramp is for, so you can get up to speed before you merge. It makes me so mad when I'm stuck behind someone going 45 miles per hour as they enter the highway, while there's semi-trailers and other drivers barreling down on us at 70. That shit is so dangerous, especially when they're too timid to merge. Being timid is going to get us all killed, Karen. They're usually the type of people who ride the merge lane all the way until it ends too. Those people I can't stand. They're the kind of people that just drifts through life and just lets life happen to them. They take no initiative, no action. Those are the kind of people who drive like this. I can literally rant about the philosophy of slow merge lane riders for hours. Last week I was dropping off my son at his school and saw a dad, frustrated with one of his own 2 sons, slap the kid across the face. I was absolutely stunned, then furious. Mind you, I am not a big guy or anything, nor do I pretend to be tough, so I didn't confront the dude at all. I just got my own son in quickly and told the whole staff what I saw. They've got means to deal with abuse, and they confronted him about it after I had left. This was last Monday, a week and a half later, and I'm still seething. I just really hate abuse towards children. Casual abuse. He knew I was there. My son and I were being loud and goofy, and I think we even made eye contact at one point. If he was okay with slapping his kid in front of me, imagine what he does in the privacy of his own home. This was in a really nice neighborhood as well. The van he drove looked like a brand new model. I feel so fucking angry, but it's so impotent. I can't do anything. I daydreamed that I stopped him, or confronted him, or was bigger or intimidating somehow, that I could actually help that poor kid. I wanted to make him as afraid of me as that kid was of him, but I couldn't. I never could. Not if I hit the gym 24/7 for the next decade could I be that guy. I'm getting angry just typing this. Healthcare workers who refuse to get vaccinated, that is anti-vaxxers. They have no business being responsible for the health of the public. If they believe anti-vaccination conspiracy bullshit, then they haven't developed critical thinking skills or learned to do better medical research than the average Facebook mom. Even after all the education and training they've been through, I would never trust someone like that with my family's lives or mine. It's past time to find another career. Anti-vaxxers in general, not including those who have a legitimate medical reason they can't be vaccinated, are infuriating of course, but this small subset is the worst of the worst. Excessive use of acronyms. When I read anything online such as an article or sometimes even a Reddit post, it's infuriating when acronyms are used like the reader is already an expert in the subject. Then, I have to Google what the acronym means, and a lot of time, other areas of study use the same acronym, so I have to sift for the right one. Then, as soon as that's over, I continue reading and, you guessed it, another acronym. Rinse and repeat. For example, I was looking at a list of favorite Disney movies and someone mentions Pat, which is apparently supposed to be Princess and the Frog. And their opposite, the people who hide their hattery behind their being of a given race, gender, orientation, religion, ethnicity, etc. You're just saying that because I'm, fill in the blank. No. I'm saying it because you effed it up totally and it just cost the company a big contract. My special ire is reserved for people who hide behind their children. If I'm a supervisor and have to lay someone off, I'm going to pick the least useful person and not get rid of someone who's single and childless just because Patrick Putz has managed to breed. America is the name of a 15th century Italian navigator, and anyone born on a continent is a native of that continent. So Native American is also kind of a shit name. Really, the Canadians' term First People is a bit better, but even that's not totally right, since there were many distinct cultures in North America and the thousands of years before Europeans arrived, so they're not really first. Earlier people would be better. People in front of me who stop 1-2 car lengths from the car in front of them at a red light, then slowly ease up, causing me to have to slowly ease up, and then the car behind me, and so on. Also, people at red lights who slowly ease up until they are almost in the middle of the intersection. Then, when the light turns, they are on their phone and stay there. People who, for whatever reason, have no concept of speed limits. 35 in a 55? Sure. 50 in a 35? No problem. People who put their indicator lights on as they are turning, or not at all. Just brake and turn. Intellectually stunted people with no critical thinking skills that are easily duped by politicians who do not care about them, their children, the economy, or their constituents' health, nor the country, just their own power. It's so painfully obvious to others as well as the vast majority of the civilized world. I guess the defunding of education and certain useful subjects like critical thinking or basic civics have come to fruition for a certain group of politicians. Keep them dumb and struggling for money and just a substandard quality of life, and surely they won't notice the fleecing of our society. It's embarrassing. People who talk on their cell phones loudly and with the other party on speaker while in public/crowded/inappropriate places to do so. Like, damn dude, no one that is actually in this space together can talk to each other without raised voices to talk over you, but they aren't all rude, so now everyone is just silently annoyed as fuck as you talk to Sam about wanting to rail Ben's mom.